Hello, Fern Creek class of 2020. Congratulations on graduating. You must be really, really excited and probably a little bit nervous, which is totally understandable. So my name is Hillary Eason. I'm sorry in advance for the quality of this audio or this video. I'm speaking to you from my apartment in Washington, D.C., where I am in lockdown, just like everybody else. But I am here to talk to you today a little bit about a topic that is very close to my heart, which is how to find a job that you care about. So, I know a lot of you are joining the workforce or going to college pretty soon because you're graduating. And to give you a little bit of background about myself, I did not go to Fern Creek. In fact, I actually went to Eastern High School with Mrs. Wilson Abel. But like a lot of you, I did not know what I wanted to do with my life when I was 17 or 18 years old. I knew that I liked traveling, and I knew that I probably wanted to do something that made the world a bit of a better place, but that was about it. And today I have a job that I never could have imagined even existed. I work in international development, which is a sector that I did not know existed. I work for a company that works primarily for USAID. USAID is the government agency that is in charge of foreign aid for the American people. And my job is to help USAID's projects figure out how to use technology effectively and also how to be more innovative. And it is awesome. I love it. I get to help their projects with things like, for example, helping farmers use mobile phones to connect to new markets so that they can earn more money from their crops, or helping teachers figure out, how they can incorporate technology into their classrooms so that they can improve their teaching. It is really amazing. I've gotten to go to places that I never thought existed, places that my family has never visited that I could never have imagined seeing, and I'm really, really lucky. But the point is, I didn't know this was a thing. I had no idea. When I was 18, I was just trying to not be late again to my job with St. Matthews. And so there's so much out there for you guys. I'm really excited for you, and I hope that these tips are helpful. So, without any further ado, let's get started with these tips. But actually, no, there is one other thing I want to point out, which is that you guys have way more options than we did. I graduated high school in 2003, and we did not have half of the jobs that you have. We did not have influencers. We did not have social media strategists. We did not have social media, for that matter. We didn't have Instagram. We didn't have Facebook. We didn't have food bloggers. We did not have anything. So the point of that is to say that you guys have tons and tons of choices. You have tons of options, and the world is your oyster, no matter who you are or where you come from. So, for real, let's talk about some of these pointers. The first one is to look at other people's paths. So if there is a job you can envision that you would like, the odds are good that somebody already has that job. And so one thing that is going to really help you figure out how you can also get that job is to look at what they did in order to get there. And LinkedIn is actually really great for this. You don't have to be an active LinkedIn member, but you can use LinkedIn to see where people went to school and then what their jobs were, so you can get a better idea of the steps that might be necessary in order to start your own cosmetics empire or whatever it is you want to do. And there's no shame in actually reaching out to these people. If you can, you should try to talk to them. There's nothing wrong with sending an email that says, hey, I'm really interested in learning more about what you do because I would like to do that someday. Can you tell me a little bit about how you get started? Can I have a few minutes to talk to you? And then if you do get to talk to them, make them be specific. They might say, and then I got the job. Okay, great. How did they get the job? Did they just apply? Did they know somebody? Did they get a newsletter that listed jobs and that's how they got in? Did they stand in front of somebody at Starbucks and start talking to them and that person said, hey, I'm hiring for a job? Because if you don't know that, then you are going to be missing a ton of information about how your particular field works. That is really, really critical because so often there is so much more to getting a job than just submitting an application and being done with it. Which brings me to my second point. Much like they say in Hamilton, you want to be in the room where it happens. So what does that mean? In the room where what happens? The room where networking happens, the room where decisions are made, the room where people socialize. Find out where people in your field tend to congregate, um, and go there. And when you are at work, when you do get that job, I'm going to give you some of the best advice I've ever gotten, which I got in graduate school, and it was be there for the meeting before the meeting, and the meeting after the meeting. Because oftentimes decisions are not made just in the bounds of when we say we're going to make them. And that can be really tricky. It does take extra time, it takes extra resources, and it takes extra work. But once you get in, become part of the community of whatever field you are in. Start going to events, organize things, volunteer to help out with something that somebody else is doing, and people will start to notice, which will make it easier for you to get the next job and hear about the next opportunity. The third pointer I have for you is a bit more psychological, and that is to not get discouraged by other people's success. So no matter what field you are in, you will probably come across somebody, or maybe multiple somebodies, who looks like they are just like a prodigy. Like they're so much further ahead than you. Maybe they're managing stores across the state, or they're writing for the New York Times, or whatever. They look like they're doing amazing, and it's easy to feel bad about that. And I'm here to tell you that it's not productive. And it's also not that useful because you don't necessarily know why they succeeded. It might be that they are prodigies and they're much better at, this field than you ever will be. It is more likely that they had money, or they had connections, or they had privilege, or they had luck, which I have often found is just privilege in another form. So, it's not useful to beat yourself up. You will progress at the rate you progress, and that is fine. Don't worry too much about what other people are doing, because it is not relevant to what you are going to do, even though it might feel like it's just easier to sort of beat yourself up. And after all of that job advice, this last pointer is going to sound a little bit ridiculous, but it is, here goes. Remember that it is just a job. You cannot make your job your whole life. Ask me how I know. You need to maintain your sanity, which means maintaining your friends, whether that's your friends from high school, your friends from college, the new friends that you make wherever you live. You need to keep that in your life. You need to keep your loved ones in your life. You need to have hobbies. You need to have downtime. Otherwise, you will burn out. It is great to have a job that gives your life meaning, but it cannot be the only thing that gives your life meaning. And honestly, if you decide that you just want a job that will help you earn enough to take care of yourself and the people you care about, and you're not super pressed about what you want to do, that's okay. Just try to find a job that doesn't actively hurt or exploit other people. That's a pretty solid baseline. But other than that, there's nothing wrong with working to live. So I think that's it. I want to congratulate you again. I know that you are graduating in really, really difficult times, but I have faith in you. Although I have never met you, if you are anything like every other young person that I have met, you will hopefully improve the world from the state that we've currently given it to you. So I wish you the best of luck and all of the hope in the world. And yeah, congratulations.